What's up, HyperFast Nation? On this episode of the show, I sat down with an amazing real estate agent. Get this, in her second year in the business as a solo agent with no help, did 119 deals. Now she's built and grown a team that gives her time back and still grows her real estate business. Did over 300 deals in 2021. Welcome to the show, Lana Rodriguez. All right. Welcome to the show, Lana. How are you doing today?
Dan, it's so great to be here. I'm back in Colorado from my 2 weeks in Florida, and it's home away from home. So I'm happy to be on this podcast.
Yeah, you and Brian have been down there a lot. Seems like you probably will be getting placed down there soon, I'm sure.
He's been talking about it, but honestly, it's actually been our second vacation in 7 years since we started real estate. We went to Florida first time last year, and baby was still small, so it's been a bit challenging. And this time, the baby's older, so Florida has a special place in my heart. I'm sure it has a special place in your heart too, because you guys moved there.
Well, let's talk. You mentioned the baby, your second one. You've got a daughter as well as a newish son, I guess. He's almost 3 now, or
yeah, he turned 3, and daughter just turned 6.
Okay,
October
so
babies.
How has it been growing the real estate business along with growing your family? I mean, the timelines almost coincided, right? Like, give people a background, how long you've been in real estate, what your teams did last year, and where it's going.
Yeah, well, Dan, it's a great question that hits the spot, of course, but it's been 7 years for me since I made a leap to go into real estate. And as you know, Brian and I moved to Colorado from Texas, and he was active duty. He was finishing up his active duty assignment, and I really wanted to have a kid. And Brian is like, if you want to have a kid, you're going to go back to work. I'm like, is it right now? But ultimately, thanks to this ultimatum, I got my real estate license. And my first year of business, that's when I birthed Olivia. And like, for our audience watching, for some of you moms, I was that mom that sacrificed being a mom and choosing my career over motherhood, over breastfeeding. I give up on that. But it's been a tremendous journey that lead us to serving over 300 families in 2021. That's been the biggest goal of me personally and the team as well. So it's been very rewarding. But yes, I had my share of sacrifices and not being present for my kids. And we can talk more about that if you think it's going to be beneficial for our audience.
Well, how have you grown to over 300 deals in such a short amount of time, while having 2 children? That's pretty amazing if you think about it.
Yeah. Well, first of all, God is good. God is good. God always provides and blesses us. Second of all, I believe that all my years in the customer service industry, since I was 14 in Mother Russia, working in a little hair salon and coming to America, waiting tables, working as a dental assistant, it all added to the pile that I brought to the table being a realtor and being a team leader at the moment. When I was in retail, when I was a store manager, I worked with some big brands. My last job was Michael Kors store manager. And at that particular store, we adopted the concept of clienteling. So, we had a client book of business, and for any new arrivals, any special discounts, promotions, we invited the clients to come to the store. And that's where I took and brought in the client appreciation event model from retail into the real estate. And when I started doing that, not many agents even across the country have not scaled that to that level. And one of the reasons what pushed me to do that is I had a kid. I worked my ass off, excuse my language. And the second year of business, I did 119 transactions. And man,
Wait,
I
wait,
was
wait,
just
wait,
losing
wait.
myself.
You
You
did
know?
119 in year 2?
Yeah, in year 2, I did 119 transactions with a newborn at home.
What did your team look like that year?
Then I did not have a team. I did not have a team. Back then I was with Remax. I did not have a team.
Solo agent? Did you have administrative help?
No, I did not have administrative help. And I remember I was talking to my lender back then, and I was so sinking into the administrative tasks. I was so behind. I couldn't even get paid properly because, you have to file certain paperwork to get paid. And like, I was talking to my lender. She's like, you should get a transaction coordinator. I'm like, what is it? I don't even know. And mid 2019, no, it was 2016. I got a transaction coordinator, and that's how I started. And she at least was like running behind the scenes for me. 2017 is when I started the team. But my time to spend with my clients on lead gen got shorter because every time I had opportunity, I went home to be with my baby. And that's when I discovered that client events can be so beneficial, because quality time with my people, with my client database is very important. And I used to do pop-bys. I used to drive to their houses, deliver them goodies and send them gifts. But, I adapted client events because they all come to you. You spend quality 4 or 5 hours with them. They get to see you, you get to talk to them, and then they go home and happy. And then they remember you for the rest of the few months till they see you the next time. So that's how I adapted the client events. And now we scaled it to the level where we host big events about 5 to 7 times a year. Only one adult only event that we actually have coming up. We have a gala coming up in end of January. The rest of the events add family members. We welcome children, we welcome other family members, neighbors, and it's just a big community party every single time.
Well, I love this idea of transitioning the personal client touch to these large events, because that gives you the chance to have multiple touches leading up to the event, after the event, and then at the event. And now you can go spend a couple hours at this event and connect with 100 clients, or probably more, I'm sure now. But as opposed to when you started out, which I'm kind of still in shock that 119 with no help. That might be some kind of record. I think I don't know if they keep those somewhere, but that's pretty amazing. So for everyone who's watching, listening, you're truly in rare company to see an agent do over 100 without even admin help. I mean, I know like one other agent that does like 100 a year without other agents, but they have like 2 or 3 assistants. So that's pretty amazing. But I think this transition you made to really leverage your time so that you could be with your kids, especially when they're younger, is pretty impressive. What does the team look like now? Because I'm sure doing over 300 deals in 2021, it wasn't just you or you with assistants. I'm sure you had other people, helping your buyers and sellers.
Yeah, great question, Dan. Of course, the team over the years grew drastically. And it's not only the Lana show, it's the Lana Rodriguez group show. And I tell everyone on my team, this business right now is so much more than me. It's all of you. And all of you and all our clients. This is all big contribution into the record year we had. Right now, we currently have 15 team members, and just between you and I and other team leaders watching, like I can finally sit down and breathe, because I think we finally have real key members within the organization that's going to help us go to the next level. Like, to be honest, it took me 7 years to actually got the real in-house transaction coordinator who actually knows her shit, who does not drop a ball, and who loves what she does. We have a great manager right now, and I think she's going to be promoted to a team manager very, very soon. We have 3 strong full-time admin people. I have 2 client care people, full-time client care people. One of them, she's a hybrid of ISA and client care, and then Susie, she's my client care manager. If you're listening to this podcast and you're gonna come to HyperFast Sales Summit, I'm gonna talk about Susie and how crucial she is for me, because she's my right hand. She's also my nanny. She's our client care manager. Because remember, I see myself as a real estate organization that focuses on client care primarily and client experiences.
What does the client care manager role entail? Just because not everyone uses that terminology.
Yeah, sure. Well, this particular client care manager, she wears a lot of hats. She also just got her real estate license because she wants to do a little bit of selling too, which is there's pros and cons to that. I suggest if somebody is really, really good at their role, don't have them become an agent because it just mixes things up unnecessary. But Susie primarily, she helps me to plan and finalize all the events. She's a point of contact for the client appreciation events. She is a call after the transaction closes, buyer seller side. She calls on my behalf and does a survey with the client, how everything went. Do you need anything? She's also a liaison for home warranty. Each client of ours, each buyers gets provided home warranty for 1 year, and she's a liaison for that. Because it's very important for me to be aware of what's going on within every transaction with every client. And remember, it's only me by myself, and I cannot just spread myself thin. So I have people like Susie helping me, people like Rachel who works LRG phones. And it's a direct contact to me, so I'm always in the loop. And so my role on the team is I'm a rainmaker, I'm a team leader, the ultimate boss. Just kidding. And then we also have Lana Rodriguez, which is my lovely spouse. He, as you know, he ventured into commercial world. He's tackling that. It's a great method for husband and wife who work together to divide and conquer.
He just closed a pretty big commercial deal, right? I'm gonna see if I have the
dude. He actually
on my phone here. I mean,
took him entire year to close this deal, and there was a lot of behind the scenes. But yeah, it was actually the third biggest hotel in Colorado sale. The developers bought it. They're going to convert it to apartment building, and Brian transaction brokered this entire deal. And
I got it right here. So if you guys are
this is it
watching on YouTube as opposed to the listening on the podcast, there it is, $25 million deal, one hotel, right?
Yeah, dude, it was a lot of work. And if you're watching, Brian is also going to be at HyperFast Sales Summit, and you can come up to him, he'll tell you how he did it, what tactics and techniques he used to get to this deal even through, because there was a lot of behind the scenes.
Well, let's talk about the sales summit for a second, just because you've brought it up a couple times.
Yeah.
February 1st and 2nd, we're doing a 2-day event for agents. The day before, on the 31st, we're doing a 1-day event for real estate investors. Lana is one of the speakers. Hopefully we'll get Brian to sign on as well. But we've got 2 days for real estate agents where we'll talk about how to build teams, get more leads, recruit, hire, train, all of that great stuff. You can go to hfasummit.com for tickets if they're still left. And then if you're listening to this podcast, you can use the code podcast25. You actually get 25% off. So it's hfasummit.com, podcast25 will get you 25% off at checkout.
Nice, dude. That's a great deal. Hello. And dear audience, if you're listening, please trust me. You need to come to the summit. It's going to be life-changing. It was life-changing for me 4 years ago. I've been attending 4 years ago, speaking on stage thanks to Dan Carey for 3 years. And I look forward to this conference. Like from the end of the conference, I look forward to the next year, because the speakers, the keynotes you guys bring, the energy, the attendees, there's so many connections and introductions to be made. You're going to get friends for life and referrals for life. Like this is going to be the best event of the year. It's going to be in the beginning of February, and we can jumpstart all to get our year right, because all of us need little motivation, little boost, little ideas. We can bring them back home and get to work.
Well, how many? Yeah, I mean, you couldn't have said it better. It's been exciting to see you grow over the number of years. So you've mentioned the team, a little bit on the structure. How many people are in sales roles versus non-sales roles?
Okay, good question. So let's go into the agent breakdown. We have Brian. Brian has 2 partner agents who work his residential business. So they are under my team, under my umbrella. They're 2 licensed agents. And once again, if you want to learn about the concept of the partner agents, come to the HyperFast Sales Summit. Okay, I'm done sales pitching. I'm done. Just come to the HyperFast Sales Summit. I want to see you. I have one full-time listing manager, I have 2 lead buyers agents, and I have 2 more buyers agents. So I have 5 agents who actively work full time, and then Brian's 2 partner agents at 7. And my goal is to, by the end of Q1 of 2022, I want to add 5 more agents who most importantly are the right fit for the team. Because as you know, Dan, the culture is everything. And we have a nice tight little group. We're like family. I love my people dearly. And whoever is going to come and join us, I want them to be the right fit. I want them to vibe with us, have a great time, but also know that we mean business.
Well, I think the interesting thing about your team structure, if you guys listen to the numbers out there, you've got about half of the roles in supporting, positions and half in sales. So you're building the infrastructure before you overwhelm it with agents, right? You're building the support, but before you just bring in a bunch of salespeople, because a lot of people start off and they don't want to hire assistants, they don't want to hire ISAs, they just want to go out and get more agents, and that just increases the amount of admin work that you do, and you overwhelm the system. With 7-8 people in supporting roles, you could probably have 15, 16, agents or so, like a 2-to-1 ratio, right? You're at a 1-to-1 ratio, which means your clients are probably getting amazing support and care. But I think the important thing is you're building the infrastructure to be able to grow smartly, to not like overwhelm your system with a bunch of new leads, a bunch of sales.
Yeah, Dan, excellent point. And I actually learned that lesson a long time ago. In 2017, when I started my first year being a team, it was me. I had my assistant, Debbie, who's right now is our lead listing manager. She was my assistant on the listing side. And I had 2 buyers agents. And the transaction coordinator who was part-time, working out of state. And that's one of the reasons why I switched brokerages from Remax into Keller Williams, is because love Remax dearly, still have so many friends there, but they did not give me the base, how to properly build a team. Because you hire an assistant, you hire a second assistant. And when you max out, you start bringing the agents. So I'm not doing that mistake again. Yes, we are very admin heavy. And if I'm my way, I want to be even more admin heavy. As a matter of fact, we already have 1 full-time videographer on staff. I'm going to add 1 more videographer and another full-time marketing person. Because it's a missing opportunity in our team, and that's what I want to fill. And agents, there's a lot of agents who want to join successful teams. And when the time comes, when we open our own office, I'm going to open the doors for that. But right now, we're just building that base, building the foundation.
What's the lead breakdown? Like, how do you support, all of these agents, over 300 deals? I assume with these client events, you're getting a lot of repeat clients, referrals, but what about agent referrals, other social media, like how paid leads, where are your leads coming from?
So no paid leads at the moment. No paid leads. We definitely want to get into that. We just did a little bit of paid lead campaigns with Lion Bolt Media. It worked. We closed like 2 out of them. So, from money spent into the closing, it was not worth it for us. So 95% of our business is all referral based. And for example, 70 deals out of last year, it was from Brian's niche. Brian is a Army Academy grad, and he built in his own niche. He actually has his own little conference just for Army grads, and he got his name out there, so they're referring him. We closed, I want to say about 65 referrals, incoming referrals within our team, and that's me putting my name out there, being on an amazing podcast like yourself, going to conferences, meeting other professionals, and make sure they remember me as a professional in Colorado Springs area. And the rest of them are referrals from our past, present, and future clients. It really works because for some of you watching, and if you want to know more about client events, it's 3 reasons why I host them. Number 1, I absolutely love them. I love seeing my clients. I love like touching base with them, connecting with them. Number 2, it's a community feel. I love getting people together. So many relationships and partnerships and friendships came out of our client community. And of course, the most important thing, number 3, my client event system gives me an opportunity to be effectively marketing myself and our team to our clients throughout the entire year without being salesy, because no one wants to be sold. People get tired of that shit, excuse my language. But what we do, like, for example, we just hosted in end of November, we hosted Pies and Smiles with Santa, right? So that was a gift that kept giving. Everybody got nice pictures with Santa to post on social media, to print it out. Okay, we let things come down for a few weeks, and now we're jumpstarting campaign for our client appreciation gala, right? They will get nice invites, nice email. It's gonna be a adult-only event. We slow it down after the event, and then we're gonna start marketing for our Easter brunch. So our clients see us in their mailboxes, in their email all the time. And all I want is just one thing. When they hear World Real Estate, I want them to think of me. If there's somebody's buying or selling, Lana Rodriguez Group. If they do that, my mission is accomplished.
So you're getting the client referrals coming in, Brian's military niche, agent referrals. What about social media for you? I know I see you a lot on TikTok.
TikTok is such a fun place. And you remember last year at HyperFast, I spoke about TikTok. I did my little keynote, and I know I convinced some people in the audience, because remember we did a poll, like, tell me if you think TikTok is a waste of time. And somebody like, yeah. I was like, well, if I can convince you at the end of this presentation, it's not. And Dan, you're absolutely killing it on TikTok. I kind of slowed down. I was super active in 2020, and then 2021, I just kind of stopped. But believe it or not, we actually closed 2 transactions. I got a bunch of leads that if you do strategic marketing on TikTok, you can attract a lot of business. Does it always plays out? No, but we closed 2 transactions, like totally from TikTok. It worked. So imagine if you do it on a consistent basis. For me, TikTok is a bit like a little fun platform. Even though I'm a realtor, I'm also a mom, so I post a lot of mom humor, little funny things. I just have fun with it. But yes, absolutely, TikTok is a platform to pay attention to, especially because making video on TikTok platform, it's so easy. Couple clicks, it provides you music, provides the captions, and then the video downloads to your phone and gives you the purpose to repost on Instagram, Facebook, whatever, or even send it in the text.
Yeah, it's a great video editing app, and outside of the social media aspect, that's for sure. And highly, if it works on TikTok, it usually will work on other platforms as well, especially Instagram. And they just, if you're listening, you're not on it, I think you definitely should check it out. It just passed Google, and Google's had this position for like over a decade. Yeah, it passed Google for not, most visited website or web traffic or whatever the metric is. So and Google, I think, was up there for like 13, 15 years, really long time.
Dude, that's crazy. That's some good news.
Well, anyway, back to your real estate business. We've definitely learned a lot about how you built it, how you built the team, lead sources. How does it all, shake down numbers wise, like 300 sales, like what kind of volume, commission, profitability did that all lead for you last year?
Okay, so we ended up right under 2 million GCI. I want to say it's like 1.5. And then as far as net, we did not break the million in the net. I'm just being completely honest, because as you run a team and you have payroll, it eats up very, very fast. And also our client event budget, our marketing budget it's high. The last year was actually the first year when we got a little bit of marketing contribution from our lender sponsor. So that felt very nice, because for the past 7 years, we paid everything out of our own pocket. Yeah. So the goal for this year is to actually do 500 transactions, add some paid lead sources. We're planning to dip into Zillow, have our full-time marketing person in-house who can actually produce some ads, and we can troubleshoot how these ads work. Because I know we know we can do 300, but to get to 500, it's going to take some new
500 with that, in terms of GCI, that would probably get you 2.5 million to 3 million, somewhere in that range.
Probably under 3, but the goal is the goal always has been to net $1 million. So we have not netted it yet, but that's always the goal. So I think this year may be it.
Well, with the team structure, and other agents, and you wanting to spend more time with the family, 2.5 to 3 in gross is, commission income. That's probably what it would take to get that $1 million net. And how does the time compare now to like go back to that second year where you did 119 deals with no one else? What's your time like then compared to now?
Well, I'm no longer running as a hot mess on the streets.
Yeah.
You know, eating junk food in my car and crying and writing contracts on the side of the curb, because I had it all. If you can imagine a real estate scenario as a brand new agent or experienced agent, I think I've been through it all. You know, so that's why I tell all my clients who come, you want to work with us because there is not a scenario I have not seen. Because we're almost at 1,500 transactions now, right? Total for the last 7 years. So believe it or not, we've seen it all. But now I'm feeling like, okay, so there is never going to be a balance. And you know this, Carrie knows that. There's never going to be a full balance when you're running your organization or any kind of business, or if you choose to go entrepreneurial way. There's never going to be a balance. But my life is more balanced right now than it ever used to be. I work on leverage. I work on leveraging my people because I have some very, very good, strong, talented people on my team. And most of them are better than me in some aspect. I know my superpower, right? And they have their superpowers. And that's, we are such a strong, dynamic team. And I'm more present for my kids. Like right now, I will leave in 7 minutes and I will rush to go pick up my daughter from school because, well, number one, I don't have a nanny now at the moment. Mom props. You know, I spend morning with my baby before my mom comes and watches them. Still working on those date nights with a husband. It's always problematic because, you know, when you work together with your spouse and you, out of all people, know, like the work never leaves you. You talk about work at night, in the morning. But yes.
Yeah, especially now with this like Zoom world that we're in, I think and this is not just the real estate industry, but for lots of others, like work from home kind of became work all the time, I think, or there's just like blurred boundary. So I definitely think anyone listening to this, real estate or not, needs to figure out how to carve out like sacred spaces and times and detach from it. And, you know, I think just kind of wrap up, there's this saying that I've been thinking a lot about the last few weeks or so, that hustle is a season, not a long-term business strategy. And I definitely think all people I've talked to have proven that, because you definitely had to hustle to get to that 119 but it wasn't something you did forever. You know, you figured it out, learned the long-term strategy, built the team, and are on this path of getting control of your time while still growing the team. So yeah, I just want to congratulate you on that.
Oh, thank you, Dan. And you know, for our listeners, yeah. So you when you get into real estate, if you think it's going to be easy, absolutely not. The first few years are going to be the hardest. Like for God's sake, my first year I cried almost every week. You know, but you have to hustle through to break through, to build yourself, and then ultimately you have to surround yourself with successful people who've been there where you want to go. Like for me, as you know, I'm a super fan of your wife, of Carrie. Since I saw her in 2018 online, and I told my husband, I don't know who this woman is, but I need to go and meet her. And I literally had a newborn baby, and I got on a plane and I went to meet Carrie Shaw at her first conference, because whatever Carrie does and who she is and how she runs her business, I want to be that. You know, will I be the same successful as her? I don't know. I'll be successful in my own way, but we have to surround ourselves with the best people out there to learn, to be inspired. And you know what? The real estate industry is very lonely. And the higher you go, it's more lonely at the top. So if you're watching this, get yourself a mentor, get yourself a coach, however it's going to look like for you, but get yourself that support system. So when the times are rough, you can pick up a phone or send an email. You can get the support answer to your problem. It's been crucial for me. And I'm not preaching this. I'm not preaching HyperFast or Carishul, but I kind of am. So thank you for having me, Dan. I love you. I cannot wait to see you guys at HyperFast Sales Summit. For our audience, please come. Let's hang out. Let's brainstorm. Let's see how we can conquer 2022 together.
All right. Well, before we wrap up, you've got to do the HyperFast round. If you're ready for some rapid fire questions and answers.
Oh my God. Yes, let's go.
All right. Biggest piece of advice to a new real estate agent.
Okay. People don't care how much you know until they know how much you care. You tell your people you care, you're going to go a long way in business.
Biggest mistake you see experienced real estate agents making?
assuming that they know everything. Like, never assume you know everything. There is always new opportunity, new trends to learn on.
What's the biggest challenge you've ever had in real estate, and how'd you overcome it?
Oh man, being brand new actually, and being overlooked by seasoned agents. When my name started popping up in the ranking, I remember the agents be like, "Who is this?" I literally would come to the closing table, and the seasoned agents would sit and like, "Where's this Lana Rodriguez lady? I want to meet her." And be like, "Excuse me, I'm here. Nice to meet you." So overcoming that, and actually people learning who I am and what I'm capable of, it was a really diversity.
What if you had to start over, you couldn't take your money, your reputation, your stats, your client list, all you could take is what you've learned in the last 7 years, what would be the first thing you would do?
Man, you know what? If I would have to start over, I would join a successful team. I would join a successful team because it's crucial to have a support, especially in new place in your first year. And then, I would maybe stay with the team or learn the ropes or go on my own. But if you're a brand new agent, you're watching this, join a great successful team. It's going to be so worth it and less headaches.
All right, last one. Where do you see yourself 5 years from now?
Oh my God, this is a great question. I actually see myself as a women's motivational speaker, not only real estate related. I want to empower and help women in many different walks of life. And I see myself on big stages.
All right. Thank you, Lana. Before we sign off, and this has been an amazing session, by the way, if people want to connect with you, other agents, or home buyers, sellers in the Colorado Springs area, how should people connect with you or look you up on social media? What are the best ways?
Absolutely. It's at the Lana Rodriguez on TikTok and at the Lana Rodriguez on Instagram. Also on Facebook, if you shoot me a DM or friend request, please do it. I will reply to you. I will get through DMs and just shoot me a message. Hey, I heard you on podcast. I want to connect, because I get a lot of spam. So if you say I heard you on HyperFast podcast, I would love to connect. I know it's a legitimate source, and I will reply to you right away.
All right. Thank you so much, Lana, for your story, your inspiration, and everything that, of value that you poured into our listeners and viewers today. If you guys are watching or listening, please leave us a review or some comments. Let us know what you liked and what you didn't, and share this with other people that you think would benefit from seeing or listening. We'll see you next time.
Dan, thank you so much for your time. I will see you guys in Florida soon.
Thank you for tuning in to this episode of the HyperFast Show. Subscribe to us if you want to make sure you get the latest and greatest HyperFast shows. And remember, we love reviews. Reviews help us bring better and better guests and improve our shows. So give us the good, the bad, and the ugly. We hope you enjoyed the show, and we will see you next time.
Hey guys, thanks for sticking around to the end. I hope you enjoyed that video, and if you want to see more, click right here. And if you want 100 real estate tips from my best-selling book, click right here to download them instantly. And if you're new to this channel, click below to subscribe and turn on post notifications so you don't miss out. And leave some comments about what you think on the videos.